about y'all, but 2024 almost took your girl out, okay? It was long, it was trying, and if I had not been on this journey of becoming mentally refined, I honestly don't know how this year would have went, okay? So today I want to share 15 things that I did that completely changed and blessed my life, okay? And I took notes so I wouldn't forget anything. So if you see me looking down, then you know why. Number one, I created a budget sheet for myself, and I utilized this sheet throughout the course of this entire year, January through December. And I created this sheet through Excel. That way I could input formulas that would do the math for me. So each month I would list all of my variable expenses, all of my fixed expenses, all of my debt, everything that was owed versus what I paid, how much money was left over, how much money was coming in, etc., etc. And doing this allowed me to stay on track of how much I was spending, how much money I needed to cut back on spending, and any changes that I needed to make. And each month I would reference my actual bank account with what I had in my spreadsheet, because sometimes we have expenses that we forget about. And when there were times where extra things were being taken out that I forgot about or didn't know about, I would cancel them. And I'm a person who gets paid once a month. And I don't know whose idea that was, but it's very important for me to monitor where my money is going. And I will be utilizing that same method in 2025. Number two, I pushed myself out of my comfort zone. Last year, I set a resolution for myself to be very intentional about doing things that make me severely uncomfortable, like this content creation thing. This is not something that I really set out to do. This is something that I felt compelled to do. And it was very, very uncomfortable in the beginning. But the more I do it, the more comfortable I get, the better I get. And I've allowed myself the flexibility to make mistakes and learn from my mistakes and grow. And I'm actually enjoying the process. But I did this same thing with other areas of my life, and it's just been a great year in that area, because when you're uncomfortable, you're actually growing. So I always want to grow, I always want to change, and I always want to get better. So I'm going to take that same resolution into 2025. Number three was hard, okay? Because I like to get things done for myself. So I stopped going to nail salons and getting my nails done. Why? Because when I looked at how much money I was spending just to get my nails done, and for them to only last for 3 weeks to a month, depending on who did them, and then I would go and I wasn't getting the best customer service, and it's like, I'm working hard, I'm paying attention to where my money's going. Why, again, am I spending all this money on nails? And so I started to learn how to DIY and do my own nails. And I am saving so much money, and nobody can tell the difference. Number four, I made family a priority. The reason is because when we set goals for ourselves, sometimes we get so caught up in accomplishing those goals that we forget that what really matters is the memories that we make and the time that we spend with our families. So I used to be the mom that worked so much that I was never present. And so this year I was very intentional about making sure that I set days and moments and hours and time aside just to spend with my family, being present in the moment, playing games, seizing the moment, and just making memories. And that has been completely amazing. Number five, I got a gratitude journal. I am not someone who likes to journal because I don't want to write down everything I'm going through and then go back and reread it, and then I end up reliving those experiences again. But a gratitude journal is very different, because a gratitude journal is set up where there's questions that force you to think positive. So an example could be like, what's your affirmation for today? Or what do you have to be grateful for? So when you start your day thinking positively, it authentically affects everything that you do. And so now a gratitude journal is something that I do regularly. And I've even bought gratitude journals for other people. And it has truly changed my life. In fact, a gratitude journal is the reason that I was able to change my whole perspective of being someone who is pessimistic all the time to someone who is completely optimistic about everything. I can find the positive in any negative, and I love it on this side of the world. Number 6, I have started to pray before I respond to negative situations. So being in traffic, for example, somebody cuts you off. The first thing you do is you want to snap. But what does that solve? It gets your blood pressure all worked up for what? You still are in traffic. You still are going to get to your destination whenever you get there. And it doesn't do anything to benefit you. So whenever I feel frustrated, I stop, I take a moment, and I pray. And that has been amazing. Number 7, and this one was hard, but I removed toxic and unnecessary people from my life. This included friends, associates, and honestly, even some family members. When I started to notice that I was putting more into people than they were giving back to me, I knew that it was time to make some changes, because if I'm going to be on this platform pouring into other people, then I have to do the work myself in order to continue to feed the people that watch my content. So in order to become the best version of myself, I had to clean house. And that is what I did. And it's not, I didn't do it in an ugly way. And it's not personal, but I value peace. And so if someone is in my life that does not bring me peace, they gotta go. Number 8, I made saving money a game, right? So we're in the middle of inflation. Times are hard for all of us. But instead of being upset and frustrated about the grocery prices and the cost of living, I decided to make it into a game. So when I go into the grocery store, I'm on a hunt to find a way to save more money than I did last month. So for example, if I'm normally grabbing the name brand item of something in the grocery store, just simply because it's name brand, I make sure that I look for a cheaper version before I put it in my basket. Now, of course, there are some items that, you just love, and it is what it is, but being intentional about finding a better way or another alternative, maybe at another store, has saved me a lot of money this year. And in addition to that, I stopped impulse buying. So sometimes being on these social media platforms, we see things, we get excited, and we just buy them. But I stopped and I asked myself, do I need this item or do I want this item? And instead of buying the item in the moment, I would wait, see how I feel in a few days. And if it was something that I could actually use and that would make my life better, then I would go back and buy it. And that is something that I will hopefully continue to do for the rest of my life, no matter how much money I make. Oh, and I gotta add this too. I also started buying things in bulk. So items that I use often, like toilet paper, paper towels, dishwashing detergent, laundry detergent, things like that, I only buy in bulk. And I saved myself a lot of money that way too. Number 10, I developed morning habits before starting each day. Why? I've been doing some research on successful people. And one thing that all successful people have in common, based on my research, is that they all have healthy habits. And they typically utilize these habits the first thing in the morning. So when they wake up, they're meditating, or they're reading, or they're making their bed, or they're going out for a run. But I've learned that how you start your day really can affect the remainder of your day. So I wake up, I do my 6 morning routine rituals, and then I start my day. Number 11, I prioritize me and my mental health. Mental health is not, oh, I'm just going to take a day off work and just do what I want. I've been intentional about prioritizing me in every way. So I don't have to schedule a day or time to love on me. If I want flowers, I go buy myself flowers. If I want a smoothie from Smoothie King, I'm going to go get me a smoothie from Smoothie King. And I even reward myself for like little things. Like if I set a goal at work to accomplish something and I met or exceeded my goal, then I reward myself with some type of treat. And it doesn't always have to be something that costs money. I do a lot of self-care. I'm very big on mind, body, and soul. And loving on me allows me to give out the best energy to people around me, and the people that are watching me, they pick up on that and they start to kind of follow what I'm doing, and that's kind of the goal here. So I'm going to take that into 2025 as well. Number 12, I learned to kill people who mistreat me with kindness. So instead of getting offended when somebody says something to me or does something to me, I immediately pray for them. Because sometimes it's not what you think. Sometimes people are going through things and you just happen to be in that present moment when they're going through whatever and they took it out on you. But whatever they're going through, it has nothing to do with you. Or maybe somebody really did offend me and they did cross me and hurt me. I'm not going to spend my days being bitter and angry about it. I'm going to forgive them, I'm going to love them, and I'm going to move on. And speaking of forgiveness, that brings me to number 13. I learned the art of forgiveness. Forgiving people instantly, not waiting until the feelings fester and they sit and you're bitter and you're angry and you're upset about something that happened years ago. I'm very intentional about how I spend my days, how I want to feel, how I want to interact, who I want around me. And so I can't do that if I have unforgiveness in my heart. And I've had to forgive a lot of people who didn't even know they offended me. But remember, forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person. So learn how to forgive if you haven't already. Number 14, I invested in my sleep. So for the longest, I could not understand or figure out why I was not sleeping well. But I was waking up cranky and it was just affecting everything that I was doing. And it took me forever to realize that I just needed a new mattress. And so, of course, inflation has the prices of everything through the roof. And of course, I would go to Mattress Firm and fall in love with a $3,000 mattress. But I don't have $3,000 for a mattress, if I'm honest. So I instantly went on a hunt to find an alternative solution. I bought a bed in a box, and I actually bought it off TikTok Shop. I could not believe it. I spent less than $500 on this mattress. I bought me a nice mattress topper, and now I don't want to get out of the bed because I'm sleeping so hard. I wake up like, oh my God, what just happened? I missed something, because I feel like I've been asleep too long because I'm accustomed to tossing and turning. But investing in your sleep is so important, because if you're not sleeping well, you're not going to perform well, no matter what you're doing. So that was one of the biggest things that I did this year that I am so proud of. And I can't wait to go to bed tonight. Number 15, I tapped into my God-given talents. So I asked God, okay, what did you put me on this earth to do? Because a lot of times when we're unhappy with the quality of our life, it's because we're not living in our purpose. And so I was intentional about talking with God and asking him, what is it that you have for me? What is it that you want me to do? And so I do believe that a part of my gift is engaging with other people, empowering them and equipping them with the tools that they need to succeed. And so in a sense, I've become an empowerment coach, and I'm doing that in my day-to-day job, but also in the content that I'm creating every day. And so I focus on how I can serve God better through the gifts that he's given me. And that has allowed me to enjoy every moment of my life. And even though 2024 has been a long and trying year, it's been a blessing because I've been able to find the silver lining in everything. And I want to share one bonus. If you are able to find happiness, even in the midst of a storm or in the midst of just the most going on, I promise you it's going to bless your life like it did mine. I hope that these 15 plus one bonus tips actually helped you, blessed you. Please share this information with other people who may need it. We don't have to wait until a year ends to start living better and doing better. So I pray that you guys had an amazing 2024, and I pray that your 2025 will be equally as amazing. I love you, and I hope you guys have an amazing year.